I'm 105 years old. Most of the people I knew are gone now. That's not a complaint. It's just where I am. When you live this long, you stop being surprised by absence. You wake up, you sit still for a moment, and you notice who didn't wake up with you anymore. People ask me why I'm still here. They don't always ask it directly, but I hear it in their voices. They lean in a little. They lower their tone, as if I'm holding a secret they're hoping to steal before time takes me too. I don't think I'm here because I did anything impressive. I don't think I cracked some code. What kept me alive wasn't loud. It wasn't disciplined in the way people like to admire. It was quiet, ordinary, almost forgettable. That's what I want to talk about. Not because it makes me special, but because I don't have much reason left to hide the truth. At this age, you don't tell stories to be liked. You tell them because carrying them alone gets heavy. These habits didn't make me happy all the time. They didn't protect me from loss. They didn't save the people I loved. But they kept me here, long enough to see patterns I didn't notice when I was young. I'll start with the first one. I learned very slowly how to stop rushing my days. When I was younger, everything felt urgent. Even small things carried a kind of pressure. Getting to work on time, getting things done before dark, making progress. I didn't question that feeling. Everyone around me moved the same way. We measured ourselves by how much we could fit into a day. I didn't think of it as stress. I thought of it as responsibility. But over the years, I noticed something. The people who moved the fastest burned out the quickest. Some of them died young. Some lived longer but carried their lives like a burden. Tight shoulders, shallow breaths, always bracing for something. I didn't stop rushing all at once. I just began to notice when my body pushed back. A skipped meal here, a headache that wouldn't leave, a night where sleep didn't come even though I was tired. At first I ignored it. That's what we were taught to do. You push through. You don't slow down unless you're forced to. Eventually I started listening, not in a dramatic way. I just allowed things to take longer. I ate without standing. I walked instead of drove when I could. I sat down when I was tired instead of proving something to myself. It didn't make my life easier, but it made it steadier. I stopped treating time like an enemy. The second habit was learning how to eat without punishing myself. I don't mean diets, I don't mean rules. I mean I stopped eating as if my body was something I had to control. When food was scarce, we ate what we could. When it wasn't, we ate too much. Celebration, sadness, boredom, it all went down the same way. No one talked about balance. You just did what everyone else did. As I got older, I noticed how much violence there was in the way people talked about their bodies, even their own. Especially their own. I never loved my body, but I stopped hating it. I ate slowly. I paid attention to how food made me feel instead of how it made me look. I learned when to stop without feeling guilty. I didn't clean my plate out of obligation. I didn't starve myself out of discipline. Food became something quiet, something regular. That mattered more than I understood at the time. The third habit was staying connected, even when it felt unnecessary. This one surprises people. They think long life is about independence, about not needing anyone. But isolation is a fast way to disappear. When you're younger, you can go years without deep connection and still feel full. Work fills the space. Ambition fills the space. Noise fills the space. As you age, that noise fades. Friends die. Children grow busy. Conversations get shorter. Invitations slow down. If you don't reach out, the silence gets comfortable, and comfort can be dangerous. I didn't keep many people close, but I kept a few. I wrote letters when I couldn't travel. I answered the phone even when I didn't feel like talking. I asked simple questions and waited for the answers. I didn't always enjoy it. Sometimes it felt like effort. Sometimes it reminded me of what I'd lost. But loneliness doesn't announce itself as pain. It announces itself as numbness. And numbness makes it easier to stop caring if you wake up tomorrow. Staying connected gave my days edges. It reminded me that I still existed outside my own head. The fourth habit was accepting loss instead of fighting it. This one took the longest. I lost people early, then I lost more. Then I lost parts of my life that never came back. Roles, strength, certainty. For a long time, I resisted that. I compared myself to who I used to be. I measured my days against a past that wasn't returning. That kind of thinking keeps you stuck between what was and what isn't. Eventually, I let go of the argument. I stopped asking why things had to change. I stopped telling myself stories about what I deserved. I allowed grief to sit without trying to fix it. Loss didn't make me weaker. Fighting it did. Once I stopped resisting, my body softened. My breath deepened. My sleep improved. Not because life got better, but because I wasn't at war with it anymore. The fifth habit is the hardest to explain. I learned how to be alone without abandoning myself. There's a difference between solitude and isolation. I lived through both. Isolation feels like being forgotten. Solitude feels like being with yourself honestly. As the years passed, there were more empty hours, more quiet rooms, more mornings where no one expected anything from me. At first, that scared me. Then it humbled me. Then it taught me something. I stopped filling silence just to escape it. I sat with my thoughts, even the uncomfortable ones. I let memories surface without pushing them away. I allowed myself to feel sadness without turning it into despair. Being alone like that keeps your mind alive. It gives you room to notice your own breath, your own reactions, your own pace. I think many people die before their bodies do because they stop listening to themselves. I didn't. That doesn't mean I lived perfectly. I made mistakes that can't be undone. I hurt people without meaning to. I postponed things I should have done sooner. I assumed there would always be more time. There wasn't. I outlived people who were kinder than me, smarter than me, healthier than me. That's something no one prepares you for. Survival isn't proof of virtue. It's just survival. What these habits gave me wasn't control. It was space. Enough space to notice when something was wrong. Enough space to rest before I broke. Enough space to stay curious instead of bitter. I didn't chase youth. I didn't chase meaning. I didn't chase happiness. I stayed. I stayed with my days as they were, with my body as it changed, with my relationships as they thinned, with my memories as they softened and blurred. That's why I'm still alive, not because I avoided death, but because I didn't rush toward it either. If you're listening to this, I'm not asking you to copy anything I did. Your life isn't mine. Your time isn't measured the same way yet. I just want you to notice what you're fighting that doesn't need a fight. What you're rushing through that doesn't need speed. Who you're neglecting because you assume they'll always be there. One day you'll wake up and realize you're older than you expected to be. And the habits you thought were small will be the ones that carried you there. I don't know how much time I have left. I don't need to. I'm here today. I'm breathing slowly. I'm telling the truth without dressing it up. That's enough. If this meant something to you, sit with it for a moment. You don't have to change anything. Just notice what's quiet in your life. Sometimes that's what keeps you alive.